Welcome to the Okie Woodsman channel. My name is Joe. We get to help a neighbor out and get a bunch of white oak. Let's see if the tractor's up for it. We're going to be using my 25 horsepower Kioti tractor, this wonderful Stinger attachment. I thought about removing these plates, but after I got here, I realized that I'm glad I didn't. We'll be utilizing the 500i, and as you all know, I do not have a way of transporting my tractor, so I was able to drive my tractor to this job. And this is pretty cool because a person in the local community paid a tree service to come and remove a healthy white oak tree, and then they piled it all up in one pile. This would likely sit here for a long time because it was going to have to dry it out and then light it on fire and then probably burn on it numerous times because big chunks of white oak like that are not going to go easily. Let's go ahead and reduce this pile significantly by pulling out all usable white oak firewood, and boy am I excited to do so. Out of all the cool accessories I have on this tractor, I gotta say, I like the saw haul up front because that protects the saw and makes it super feasible to transport it. But this bucket haul is absolutely awesome. When I'm coming to film, I put things like water in there, camera equipment, and my safety equipment. There's an extra chain in here, scrunch, and some other various items. If you're like me, you're wondering how big this log is. Luckily, I brought a tape measure. We are at just under 9 feet. I don't believe that my tractor is going to pick up a 9-foot white oak log. So I wasn't going to do this, but I think we might give it a shot because if I could transport this back to my house, it would be one less trip. But I really am not sure if that's a good idea. The thing is 8 foot is a good, perfect number for a good even amount of rounds with minimal loss, and this at 11 inches over that, it would actually be perfect. Yeah, it would be perfect. Let's just see if the tractor will do it. I'm not going to struggle too much because I don't want to damage anything. So the question is will this 25 horsepower Kioti tractor pick up this 9-foot white oak log? I didn't measure the diameter, but it's a good size. Probably around 2 feet. It is a little bit thicker on that butt end, and so I figure what I'll do is we'll be doing this in 2 pieces, and that's a-okay because I wanted to test this 500i anyway. But what that means is I want to make a good selection for this flares so much I wouldn't mind my waist being over here. So we're going to go 4 foot 4 inches, kind of split that in half, and I think that's going to be the best bet for us. 1, 2. I'm debating on how much I want to get into this, but I've already pulled a lot of mass out. I'll probably pull a little bit more out to see if there's any good sized limbs in here. Let's just see what we got. Oh, there's a good chunk right up there. Get this piece. I really need a brush guard. I'm really struggling grabbing that piece right there. I want those pieces right there. I see a couple more pieces that I want, but after that, what I'll do is I'll just tidy this up and leave this pile to burn. Yeah, that's all I'm gonna go after. It's a nice little bit of wood right there. That pile was pretty dirty. I didn't anticipate that actually. Let's make it pretty again. One of the things that gets me is I'll often try to be curling as I'm pinching, and you can't do that. You've got to do kind of one function at a time on when you're dealing with the third function there. So like I've been trying to open that the whole time I was curling and all that, and that's not going to work. This pile ought to burn up real easily now. I won't bring you on for all of this, but this is my plan, is to grab a log that I can in the grapple and then pinch something else in my backhoe so that way I can reduce the amount of trips I need to make. It's not too far. I was wondering if I was going to be able to do that, and I was able to sneak one last little bit there. This is an extremely versatile grapple here. That's a big one. Well, my wood yard is starting to look a bit more like a wood yard, and it's becoming clear that if I want to continue to bring wood in here and not have to stack it on top of everything, I'm going to need to open up some more space. That one's going to be next.